Hello everyone, today in this video we'll be discussing the second module of Unix. So in this module we have some of the commands which are important from exam point of view. So first we'll be discussing about the file attributes and permissions, which we had discussed basics in the first module, and next we'll be going on to the shell interpretive cycle. We are discussing about the shell commands. So these are also very important topics from exam point of view. Many topics are there, and finally we'll be discussing about the shell programming. Okay, this also has some logical and exit commands and command lines, so we'll be discussing each one of these. Okay, and if you like this video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Okay, so let's get started with the first one. These are the previous year questions. As usual, we'll be discussing this at the end of the module. So let's get started with the module. Firstly, we have the file attributes and permissions. So the first main important command is the ls command. This is very important from exam point of view. Okay, so what is ls command? It lists the file attributes. Okay, remember, ls will list the file attributes. Okay, and ls command is used to obtain the list of file names and their attributes and their directories. Okay, so this has mainly 7 attributes. Okay, and the first one is the file type and its permission. The second one is the links, how many links it has. The third one is the ownership, who is the owner, and the group of owners if there is a group, and the file size, and lastly we'll have the modification time. Okay, and after all of that we have the file name. Okay, so for example, if you see here, this is the file type, means who are all access to read the file and write and execute the file, and this is the number of links, this is the owner, and this is the group of owner, and this was the the file size. So this is the file size, and this is the modification date and the file name. Okay, so this is the structure of the ls command, and we have the file permissions. The lsl will have the command output as this one. So what are the file permissions? We have to focus on this part now. Okay, in the file permissions we have the first part as file type. Here we have R as the read permission, W indicates the write permission, and X indicates the execute permission. And in the above example we have the file permission of chapter 2 as this one, RWX, R-X, and R-. Okay, so these three are for, the first one is the file type, dash means the regular file, RWX means the owner is allowed to read, write, and execute the file. The group is allowed to read and execute the file. The write function is not allowed, and for others only the read function is allowed. Okay, in this way we can specify which are the permissions given to the different types of users. Okay, and this is the first group which has all the 3 permissions. Second group has the read and execute. Third group has only the read function. Okay, and changing the file permission, this is also very important from exam point of view. Okay, in the relative and absolute permissions, chmod is used. Okay, for changing the file permissions. Now this can be done in 2 ways, the relative manner and the absolute manner. Let's discuss about the relative manner. In the relative we have that it changes the permission specified in the command line. Okay, and the syntax is this one. So we have chmod, we have to write this code here. We have then the 3 words and the file name. Now let's discuss about the 3 words here. The first is the category, then the operation, then the permission. Okay, in category, which type of user you want to change, like it's a normal user, group, owner, all, owner, or all others. All others means UGO. Okay, and the operation means assigning the permission or removing the permission or absolute permission. Okay, and the permissions include read, write, and execute. Okay, so let's see an example for better understanding. So we have to write the chmod here, and we have to write this one here, the combination of these 3 things. Okay, so let's see each one by one. A indicates all. Okay, sorry, it's U. So U indicates the user. So user is given the permission, means plus means assigning the permission, X means executing. So user is given the permission for executing the file abc.txt. Okay, so that means and if we can do the multiple permissions also, like a-x and go plus r. So let's see what it is. A-x means, A means all the users, means user, group, and others. All 3 have the permission to all 3 has no permission, means the permission is removed. For X means executing the file. So all the users which are user, group, and others have no permissions for executing the file. Okay, and we have go plus r. Go means the group and others. These 2 have the permission for reading the file. Okay, in that way we can change the file using chmod. Okay, chmod. And we have the absolute permission also. that is specified by the octal numbers. Okay, why we have chosen octal? Because it's three types of permission: read, write, and execute. So in three types of permission we can have 8 combinations, and therefore we have the 8 combinations in octal also. Okay, so the first is like this: 0 means 000 dash dash dash, which means no permission. 1 means 001. Okay, so it's displayed as follows. The first column is for R, second is for W, third is for X. Okay, so here we have, if 0 means all the columns are off, okay, that means no permission, and 1 means the first column is on, that means only execute. The second column only write. For 3 it is WX, write and execute. In the same way we have different combinations for each of the octal number, and if you have to specify some permissions, we can use those octal numbers. For example, we can write 666 for the 3 groups, like 6 for the user, 6 for the group, and 6 for the others. Okay, so this is for the 3 groups 666. 666 means 6 means read and write. Okay, so each of that groups, they have the permission for read and write. Okay, so in that way you can specify using absolute path name. This is very important from exam point of view, and if you didn't understand, rewind the video and watch it again. Okay, let's move on now to the next one, which is recursively changing the file permissions. Okay, when we use chmod recursively, that means for the directory, suppose that this is a directory which has many files in it. So when we use recursive call, it will apply for all the files in the directory. Okay, and changing the file ownership, we have 2 commands. This is also important. So chown and chgroup. Okay, chown means changing the file owner. So if I write chown Sharma and the file name here, Sharma will become the file owner for the file note. Okay, before, if initially Kumar was there, now Sharma will be the owner. And changing the group owner, in the group there will be many users, which user we have to make the owner of that group, means the representative of that group. We can do by chgrp new owner, the new owner name, and for which file you are doing, that should be mentioned here. Okay, that was all about the file permissions. Now let's move on to the shell interpretive cycle. Shell interpretive cycle means shell keeps on running the terminal until logged out. Okay, so what are the activities performed? Here are the activities performed. Basically it takes the command here and performs the execution, and it sends the output. Okay, and what are wildcards? This is also very important, which is the 2 wildcards, which is star and the question mark. So if you have to search for a particular pattern, okay, star and question mark is used. For example, if star is used, the star can represent any number of characters. Okay, means chap, and this can be empty also. Chap 01, star can represent 01, chap, and 02, star can represent 02 also. So in that way you can search for different characters. What about question mark? Question mark just search for a single character. Okay, means if I write here question mark, it can represent any single character, not multiple characters as star. Okay, this for multiple characters, this for single character, and they are pattern matching symbols. Okay, so we have chap x, chap y, and chap z. Okay, so this if you have to search for those type of files which has some single character here, we can use this one. If it has multiple characters, we can use this one. Okay, the next one is the matching the dot. Dot is a meta character that can be used to match all the hidden files. Okay, hidden files start from dot. Okay, so if you have to match any hidden file, we can use dot here, followed by 3 question marks, means at least it should have 3 characters, and after that it can have or not have. Okay, so here we have dot, and the 3 characters are BAS, and H till profile we have the star. Okay, so it searches for all the hidden files which are at least 3 characters and in the directory. Okay, we can do the same thing in the character class also. So if I write here chap 0 and in the class I write 1 2 3 4, it will find the files with the elements present in this class, like chap 01, chap 02, chap 03, and chap 04. If you don't want specific files, we can use the exclamation mark, which will negate the files. Okay, that means star means it will take all the characters, dot extension, and the exclamation marks means except. Okay, so if I write here exclamation mark co, it will not choose those files which has the extension c, .c or .o. Rest all it will choose, like .txt, .pdf, those it will choose. Okay, only those files it will not choose which has .c and .o. Okay, the same thing can be done with the numbers also. And removing the special meanings of the wildcard. See, as we know, if I write /n in middle of a string, it will take to the new line. If I have to remove that particular feature, what I can do is I can use slash here. Okay, by using a slash, for example, if I write a chap star, a file is there which is stored as chap star. This is the name of the file, but this also similar to command which is chap and star. So to remove that special meaning, what we can do is we can use slash here. If I use slash here, it will just search for those files which has the name chap star. Okay, this particular file. So if I have a file which has this same name, we can use a slash to remove the special meaning of the star here and search for the exact file. Okay, in that way this file will be selected. Okay, and the same thing can be performed in the quoting also. So quoting can be used to search for the exact file. Okay, with the special character. So these two features which are escaping and quoting, it's also very important from exam point of view. Okay, then we have the redirection. There are three types of file: input, output and error. Okay, represented by 0, 1, 2. Okay, and the standard input means this symbol will be used for the input, and we perform the output by using this symbol. Okay, in C++ you might have seen this symbol that is used for appending. Okay, if you want just single character, use this one, or if you want many characters which are appended at the end of the line, you can use the double character, so that A, B, C, multiple characters will be appended at the end of the line. Okay, and lastly we have the standard error. If there is any error in these two files, that will be stored in the standard error. The output will be stored here and the error will be stored here. Okay, and the next one is pipe. Pipe is represented by this symbol here. By this symbol, what happens is, if you want to perform two operations and we need not create a new memory space, what we can do is we can use this symbol here and we can have the function here. So what it does is, basically it is an operator that temporarily saves the output on a buffer without creating any new file, and then it will perform the operation. Okay, so by using pipe, the storage space is saved. Next one is grep and egrep. This is also very important. Grep means globally search regular expression and print. Okay, it scans for the input pattern and displays the output. Okay, so for example, we have the emp list here, and we have the emp1 list, emp2 list. Now we can use the grep command to search for the patterns. Like for example, if I search sales and emp list after using the grep command, we will get those files which has the sales in it. Okay, if you look at the emp list, this is the emp list. This is the emp list. This is the emp list. Here we have the sales here, here, here and here. So we have 4, 101, 102, 103 and 105. I forgot to write for this one, but we have the output here: 101, 103 and 105. 102 should also be there. 102 should also be there because it also had sales. So basically what happens is, grep will search for this pattern and it will display the output. Okay, same thing we can do for the different types, like director in both of these files. So wherever directory is present in both of these files, that file name will be shown here and the data will be shown here. Okay, and there are many other symbols like -i, -v, -n. It does the following operations. Okay, that you can look at the main notes. Okay, in that many operations are there. And we have the basic and extended regular expression. This is also very important. Basic means we have the character class. Firstly, it matches the either A or A. Okay, means small a and capital A. If any file starts from either small a or capital A, that can be searched by using this character class. Okay, if I specify this one, it will display all those files which are starting from either small a or capital A. Okay, negating a class. Negating a class means it should not have these symbols. Means these are the alphabets, right? So instead of alphabets, what are all the other characters? Those files should be displayed. Okay, and asterisk means it refers to the immediately preceding character, which means if I search G star, star can have any number of characters here. Okay, means it should have only G. Before the star it should have G here, that I specified here. So those type of files will be shown. Another example, if I write here OC star UR URRENCES. Okay, if I write like this, what happens is C can either be displayed or not. Means C star is there, right? C can be displayed either 0 times, 1 time, 2 time, 3 time or n number of times. Okay, so where all the files have the such occurrences, that will be displayed here. Okay, means without any C also there was a file, and with one C, with double C. Okay, so these three were displayed. And we have the dot operator. Dot means matches a single character, and question mark is used to indicate that. Okay, so this is the equivalent of question mark. Okay, before we used the question mark, in this we will use dot. Okay, so while using the wildcards we had used the question mark, right? In this grep command we'll use dot. Okay, so we have grep 10 dot. Dot means any number of the single character. Okay, means if I write 10 dot, it will represent all those files which has starting from 10, which is 101, 102, 103. Okay, and specifying the pattern locations means we can use the negation operation and the dollar sign for matching the at the beginning of the line or ending of the line. For example, if I write here negating 3, negating means starting of the file, which all files start from 3, that will be displayed, and the dollar sign means ending with that character. If I write $5, it will display all those files which are ending with 5, which is 101, 105, 205 and 305. Okay, and we have the extended regular expressions, the same thing as we had discussed in the previous one, which is basic, but we have some more operations which are used to match dissimilar patterns. For example, ch plus is used to match one or more occurrences of the character ch. Okay, plus is used to match one or more. Question mark is used to match 0 or 1. Okay, this is 1 or more, this is 0 or 1. And here we have expression 1 or expression 2, matches expression 1 or expression 2. Okay, whichever file has the expression 1 or expression 2, that will be displayed, like for example GIF and JPEG. Okay, and we can do that in this way also, like if I write here x1 or x2 and in the bracket I have x3, that means x1 with x3, that file will be displayed, and x2 with x3, that file will be displayed. Okay, and we have like for example lock and where, and ending with would means lockwood or wherewood. Okay, that will be displayed. Those files having these two words here, those files will be fetched and displayed. Okay, so remember this one is important. Plus means matches one or more occurrences, question mark matches 0 or 1 occurrences. Okay, and finally we have the shell programming. Environment variables are those variables which are used by the system. So we have the environment variables like a shell, which points to the shell defined as the default. Display, it contains identifier for the display function, and home function, which has the home directory. IFS indicates the internal field separator. Path indicates the search path for the commands, and we have many others. Okay, like pwd, print current directory, and UID, which is the user ID. So these are the path variables by default. Okay, we can add more path variables accordingly, like when we need. Okay, so for our purposes we can add the path variables. Okay, whenever we download new files and all, we need the path variables. Okay, and here are some definitions, like shell script means it's a file in which the programs are written in shell programming language. So those are known as shell scripts. Command line arguments, these are 3 types. Star indicates the complete set of positional parameters. Hash indicates the frequency of the arguments. 0 indicates the command name. Okay, and the exit and exit status of the command, this is important. Exit 0 means when everything went fine. Exit 1 means when something went wrong. Okay, 0 means success, 1 means failure. Okay, so we can remember it that way. Like for example, lsl file 1 echo $question mark. If it's a successful one, instead of question mark it will output 0. Okay, if it's not successful, instead of question mark it will output 1. When can the function be not successful? At that time when the file2 is not present. Okay, suppose that file2 is not there and we are trying to access it, at that time it will echo as 1. At that time it will output as 1, which is that the file doesn't exist and it can't be accessed. Okay, the next one we have the logical and the conditional execution. This we know, and is true means if both are true then only it will be true, and or means if any of them is true then it is true. Okay, that we can have like this: if a is equal to b, then this will be printed, else a is greater than or lesser than b. Okay, and after that we have to end by fi. If I write if, I have to end by fi. Okay, what is case conditional? Suppose that we have a menu here to display a list of files or the process of users, today's date, or user of the system, and finally we have the quit also. Whatever output, whatever input we give, like 1 to 5, that will be stored in choice. Okay, and then choice will be matched with any of these cases. Okay, for the first case, to display the list of files, we'll use lsl function. For the process of users, psf, and for the date function, and for the users, who. For the exit, we'll use the exit command. And star here indicates the default operation, means any other number other than 1 to 5 we have to output as invalid option. Okay, So this is important from exam point of view. The same question is asked in the previous year papers. You have to make this menu and write the commands. Okay, so remember this question. And we have the case conditional here. See, we have started with case and we are ending with the reverse of case, means ESAC. Okay, in that way the syntax of shell is you have to write whatever we start here, the reverse of it at the end. Okay, and if you have to match the multiple patterns like small y or capital Y. For example, if I ask the user like is your age greater than 18, at that time the user will enter sometimes small y or sometimes capital Y. Both should be accepted, right? Both should be accepted, right? So at that time I can have the syntax like this for accepting both of the strings. Okay, and we can use the test command to evaluate the expressions. It works in 3 ways to compare the numbers. Okay, to compare the numbers, these operators are used: EQ for equal and NE for not equal, GT is greater than, and so on. Okay, for example, if I have the 3 numbers x as 5, y as 7, and z as 7.2, then test x is equal to y, then it will output as no, it's not equal, so it will output as 1. And same thing we can do for the string operations also. Here we have the 3 operations: equal sign, not equal to, and dash n. It's not a null, that we will be checking here. Same thing is for the files also, like if file is present, if it's a readable file, writable file, and so on. Okay, so this is one example for checking if the file emplist is there or not. If it's there, it will output as yes, or else it will output as no. Okay, or else it will output as no. Okay, and while loop, we already know what is while loop. While a condition is true, it will execute the following commands, and the for loop is also the same thing. We'll have a condition here till how much time it should execute. Like for example, if I have for file in chap 20, chap 21, chap 22, what it should do is copy the file dot back. Okay, dot bak. So for each of this file, it will extend with dot bak. Okay, so the output will be chap 20 chapter 20 dot back, and here also and here also. Okay, so this used for the for operation. And we have the set and shift. If I have the manipulating the positional parameters, this is also important. Like we have the numbers for each of the parameters. Okay, for example, if I have to set this number to 0, this number to 1, this number to 2, what I can do is set operation. Okay, so this one will set to parameter 1, this will set to parameter 2, and this will set to parameter 3. Then we can access the parameters and we can get the values here. Okay, shift will also do the same thing. Suppose that we have the shift here and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So whenever whatever parameters we save, that will be output here. For example, here we stored as 989, right? If I store as NOV, and here I store as 9, and here I store as the date like 09 and all, so that will be stored in these 3 parameters. When I output these parameters here, that will be displayed as November 9, 4 and IST 2016. So these are the 5 parameters here. And if I shift 2 means delete this 2 and make this 2 as make this 3 as 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so when I display that, it will output from here. That is a shift operation, means it will left shift by the number of shifts I want. Okay, and here document means getting the data from the same file. So basically what it is, that if I have run the shell command in the same file and I want some data from the same file. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to not look for the path variable in the system and then fetch this file again. We can do directly by here command. Okay, here command will fetch from the same file. Okay, and sometimes when we are doing the program, some input and all comes, like we have to handle that also. So what happens is we can stop the current iteration by using the trap command, and it will execute the input and output commands. Okay, after this gets over, it will untrap it and it will resume the execution. Okay, so this all what is there in the second module of Unix. So let's discuss the previous year questions which are asked. So most of the questions we have already discussed in the modules. So this is about the diagram for the typical system and also explain the different types of files. This was there in the first module also. So the module number changes because I have taken from 2015, 2017 and 2018 schemes. Okay, so the module and the syllabus has changed, so therefore we have to do that accordingly. We have to learn from the other modules accordingly. Okay, so this for the first module. And the second one is with syntax and example explain the command lines used for creating, deleting and changing the directory. Since it's just repeated one time, it's not that important, but still we have discussed this in the first or the second module, and this is very important, which is ls commands. Okay, so ls commands is repeated a lot of times, so we had discussed that in the first and the second module also. And the path name is also important, we had discussed file permissions, and give the examples of chown and chgrp. This we had discussed in detail in the same module, and this is not repeated, it's asked only one time, so we can ignore that for now. And we have the file attributes, lsl command, and we have the need diagram. We have to draw the need diagram for the Unix file system, and parent child relationship, module 1. And we have this one, these functions here, which we had discussed in the second module also. And this is important. Okay, relative and absolute methods, that one I told, right, like chmod function, that is the same thing where we use like u plus and x, means all users are assigned the permission to execute the file, like abc.txt. This example I discussed, right. In the same way we have to change for this one also by using the chmod function. Okay, so that's it for this module, and thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.